Joined now by Rio. Hope you can all hear me out there. How you doing, Rio? Good to see you, buddy.
Hello, mate. You right?
I am all right now. I've just managed to press the unmute button once again.
This is becoming a bit of a recurring theme.
It is. It is. Now I'm talking to myself. Hang on, let's mute that one. I muted the wrong one. Yeah, having a nightmare. But the game is underway anyway, Rio. A minute and a half in here in Cyprus. West Ham playing in claret and blue. Larnaca resembling kind of an old-fashioned sort of Norwich, I suppose, or a West Brom away, even in that kit. But what are we thinking about tonight, Rio? You feeling confident, or after what happened on Saturday, would that be a bit of a...
No, what happened Saturday has wrecked my whole West Ham confidence. All the last 2 years have been, reasonably good, attacking, creative, dangerous on the counter. We've reverted to type, so I've got no confidence whatsoever. If we come away less than 6 goal defeat, I'd be pleased.
Well, there you heard it here first, folks. Confidence not in abundance in the KUMB team this afternoon. Well, let's have a look. Let's have your score predictions anyway, dear followers. Gore Edwards going for a 2-1 West Ham win this afternoon. And we got anyone? No, we've only got that so far. Hellos to Dan B, Tony Mitchell, Polaroid, Hobo, Rob Young, Gore, of course, I've already mentioned, and everyone else joining us live on the stream right now. We're just 2.5 minutes in. West Ham attacking from left to right on our screens as we look, although it looks like I'm pointing the other way because I'm in reverse, but you get the drift. And West Ham on the left, Cresswell, as I said a few moments ago, back in the team, restored to the starting lineup today, going for a 4-3-3. Rio, by the looks of it, what are your thoughts on this starting lineup? Good to see Kurt Zuma back alongside Aguerd anyway at the centre of the defence. Yeah,
it's our first choice centre-back pairing. I think it's the first time we've actually played together in earnest, isn't it? Maybe for a little bit, but Kurt Zuma hasn't looked fit all season to me, so let's hope his fitness is here, and let's hope that he can develop an understanding with Aguerd pretty quickly because we desperately need it.
Certainly do. Yeah, I think they played a bit together, didn't they, at the weekend? Maybe a game or two before that, but you're right. They certainly have barely played together. And this was, let's not forget, this was the centre-half partnership that David Moyes was pinning his hopes on at the start of the season, right? These two.
Yeah, I mean, £55 million centre partnership for us is it's quite a bit of dosh. So we saw how good Zuma was last season after the feline incident. He was outstanding. Aguerd has looked brilliant for the large part. I mean, obviously last week was a bit of an aberration, but other than that, he's looked really, really promising. So let's hope these two can gel. I know it's not the sternest of tests potentially tonight, but getting a bit of match fitness, a bit of an understanding together is what we need for the running into the season.
Yeah, certainly is. Rio, where are you on your time on this one? I suspect you'll be ahead of me.
I'm 3:23, so I'm probably behind.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on 4:21. You watching on the stream then, I presume, rather than BT?
Yeah, just a stream for me tonight.
Okay, mate. We're going to be joined in just a second by Noam, who I'm sure will be ahead of both of us, given that he has BT at home. We're going to get him on in just a second. But anyway, the game is underway. 4.5 minutes gone in Cyprus. It's Larnaca 0, West Ham United 0. West Ham, as we said at the top, you can see the team above me there. Areola, back four of Kera and Cresswell with Zuma and Aguerd, as we've just mentioned in the middle. Declan Rice, Manny Lanzini and Flynn Downs forming that central three. And up top, Fornells and Ben Rama flanking Michail Antonio, who's ploughing a lone furrow with the claret socks on up top this evening, as we just see Larnaca try and break down the left-hand side. Yeah, I mean, we've... couple back in the team tonight, Rio. Kera, of course, as well, and Antonio both had injury problems recently. So good opportunity, really, this, isn't it, for players like that to kind of feel their way back into the, team a bit rather than sort of being thrown into the Premier League game straight away, especially given the position we're in.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest talking point in terms of team selection to me, though, is why isn't Gianluca Scamacca getting a run out? His pedigree in our European competition so far has been pretty good. Now, he scored quite a few goals in the Conference League. You would have thought this would be ample opportunity to give him a few minutes under his belt, get a little bit of confidence going. But no, I just don't understand it, to be honest.
No, it's a strange one. I mean, of course, we know he was suffering some injury problems fairly recently, but you would assume that he's fully fit and raring to go by now. But yeah, as you say, odd that he's not involved. Someone who is involved, however, is Gnome, and I'm not quite sure. Gnome, what are you wearing there? It looks like you've got some kind of wizards. You're very dark.
Just a dark. It's actually dark, and it's a claret and very dark blue shirt. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just looks totally black for me. I don't know, Rio. I'm not the only one seeing that, am I?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say someone didn't read the memo because I've got my away shirt on. You've got your away shirt on.
Yeah, I don't own one of those.
We'll Photoshop
we're
it
all
on
in
later,
black
don't
anyway.
worry.
That's that's the good thing. Just over 7 minutes gone. It's 0-0. Both sides just feeding themselves out at the moment. What would be a good result for West Ham here? And I mean, obviously 10-0 would be a good result, but in terms of what could we reasonably go away from here and be happy with?
Firstly, it's got to be a win, and I while I was sort of signing in and getting myself ready because I've been a bit running around a little bit today over the last few days. The comment was that there's some 96 places below us in the pecking order, so it's got to be a win, and it's got to be a professional win that reflects that. Okay. We need goals. It's simple as that, really. So one, we need to win. Two, we need to win by several goals, and three, as I see Antonio get kicked in the back of the heel, we need to come away with no serious injuries. So that's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'd like.
Yeah. The West Ham gods will probably be looking down, laughing at that statement now. I would imagine.
Antonio gets a kicking in.
Yeah, you want all that. Yeah, well, hopefully that'll be good. I mean, it'd certainly be good to get away without any injuries, wouldn't it? Given that the amount of problems we've had. So, Ria, what about you? What's a good result for you tonight for West Ham? Do we have to win, or would a draw be sufficient for you?
I mean, I think a draw would be sufficient, but at this stage of the competition, I know Larnaca have been in good form in the Cypriot League, and it isn't as poor as everyone makes it out to be. Obviously, it's not in the upper echelons of European competition, but they've been Cypriot sides have proved a little bit tricky for a couple of teams over the last couple of years. So, I mean, a draw would be the worst kind of outcome you want, but I'd like to be taking at least 2 goals back to London.
I mean, in an ideal world, if we had a decent enough, I'd like a decent enough win so that the second leg it is unlikely to sort of, it would be a major upset in the second leg. So several goal win. Then we can give time to if he's fit enough to. I think there's probably going to be another couple of weeks, but Cornet, for example, as the Cypriots are on the attack, they're dangerous looking cross, but Zuma cuts that out. But I mean, the most ideal result would be for us to actually have a win, so that the second leg is as near as damn it a formality. Yeah, and then that gives us time and space to actually concentrate on slightly more weightier matters.
Gore Edwards has commented to say that Gnome has arrived as a prog organist.
Mr. Richard Wakeman.
Isn't that supposed to be after the watershed?
Well, it was always everybody had to get their guitar heroes, but I was always one who wanted to be the keyboard wizard. So Mr. Wakeman, Mr. Banks, that sort of thing. Keith Emerson, of course. Of course, nowadays when you see bands play, the technology is such that they need 1 or 2 keyboards at most, sort of thing. Whereas back in the day, you had all sorts of synthesizers. Keith Emerson's ones that looked like a telephone exchange with all the patch leads was always something special. As we're on the attack here, but Fornals doesn't get a ball through, and yeah, just to let you know there's a game going on. But
Somewhere.
yeah, so I'll take Keyboard Wizard.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, of course, you don't need any keyboards these days. Modern day
No.
digital audio workstations, you can use your keyboard, computer keyboard, which always
Yeah,
feels a bit bizarre. But yes, those. I did read something. They're talking about Emerson from ELP. I read something the other day that said Darren Emerson, the erstwhile and well-known DJ of 90s and onwards, it was his son. I don't know how true that was, whether that was one of those urban myths that's going around these days, but it would kind of make sense, I guess. But anyway, if you know it to be true or a complete fantasy, let us know in the live chat. Lots of people commenting so far. Polaroid says it looks like Rio's wearing a West Ham hat. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
What it is, you know, the old adverts where Shane Warne and Graham Gooch went to the hair transplant clinic. Now, this is my what I might have done in the future. We'll just walk around with a West Ham badge on me.
Of course, you two would know more about that than me.
Mine's by design, as we all know.
12.5 minutes gone. Larnaca nil, West Ham United nil. No goals, very little goal action, which is why we're talking about hair and Darren Emerson and keyboards and other nonsense. It's got absolutely nothing to do with football at the moment. But anyway, as soon as something does happen, I'm sure Noam will let us know, or Rio will give us a shout. But yeah, not much happening at the moment. The stadium looks pretty full anyway. We can say that much. I mean, it's not a huge plus for the home side because I think it's only got an 8,000 capacity. The good news is, of course, that West Ham, we did have an initial capacity of about 400-500, but due to some good work by the club, in particular, Mrs. Nicola Key, who took a trip out to Cyprus to arrange for an extra 1,000 tickets. There's plenty of hammers out in the stadium and on the island tonight, supporting the Hammers. So yeah, it should be quite a vocal. For those of you that are listening to it, I haven't got the any audio playing at the moment, but there'll be plenty of support for West Ham in the stadium tonight. Hopefully, they'll be getting even louder, and we'll have something to cheer in just a minute. But it's still 0-0, very very scrappy so far. Noam, what do you make of what you've seen this opening 14 minutes or so?
The words "very very scrappy" were next on my list of things to say. We've had a fair bit of possession, but not really sort of looked like breaking through. It's vaguely reminiscent of watching West Ham against West Brom in the 1970s, very similar to the West Brom away kit of, I mean, they've used those colours since, but it was around 1970s that they had that sort of green and yellow striped thing first came into prominence up at the Hawthorns. So I was just letting that, like Zuma was letting a ball go out there for a goal kick. So long ball from the back from the Cypriots and just ran out. But it's not inspiring stuff at the moment. I have to say, we've got a quarter of an hour just gone. And we try to play it out short, and you wouldn't even say it's a high press because we've got two people back. So they've sent forward two people, and then there's a long gap between anyone else. So it just seemed a bit not the wisest of moves to try and play that out short.
I think one thing I've noticed already, chaps, is that we seem to have an awful lot more time and space on the ball than you would do in a Premier League fixture, which is understandable given the calibre and quality of players we're playing. But is that fair enough, Rio? It kind of looks like like if you imagine a Premier League game being played on, as a 78 record, this is more like a 33. If you get my drift.
I think we've already had more possession than we did the other day anyway as well. Yeah, the three things I've taken from the game so far, I mean, like I just said, we've had more possession than we did the entire game Saturday already. We're actually being a little bit more constructive and actually looking to pass the ball forward, which is a real bonus because we didn't see that Saturday either. And also the Larnaca manager is very animated at times, isn't he? He could be quite entertaining tonight. Yeah,
now entertaining managers of minnow European clubs. Very niche subject that, known, but we recall being present at one particular press conference where there was a very, very lively manager of a minnow European club I'm just trying to remember who it was. Was it Berkakara or was it the other mob? Or was it no? It was the
It was the other, the Andorran
wasn't
one.
it? Which one?
Lusitans? Was it
Oh,
Lusitans?
Lusitans, was it? Yeah, yeah.
The
It's
bloke
one of
who-
those.
The Berkakara manager was an Italian guy who was quite a gentleman. I'll come on to a story about him later on. But the Andorran guy just basically ranted on about how little respect they'd had for his club, and which I think we had exactly the right amount of respect, given that nobody's seen them again.
Yeah, he was most miffed, wasn't he, that night? He kept banging on about how the club had disrespected him and his players. The one thing I remember about that mostly was the interpreter was a guy called Mark Joss. And obviously he heard what was being said long before any of us could understand, and his face was just a picture. He didn't kind of quite know how to interpret the words, did he? It was hilarious, and he just banged on about how
diplomatic way
how rude West Ham had been. It's hilarious.
So that was good. Cyprus have actually got 2 corners now and make that 3. Although I think the second of them looked like a goal kick to me, but it's this is not the position we wanted to be in. Giving away corners. Third one comes in swinger, and it's just headed over. So little flurry of activity from the home side there. The chap who was, I can't remember his name now, the chap who was managing Berkakara. And we'd seen him obviously the Thursday before we played them out there. Sorry, every time I move, I seem to disappear. And I'd never been to Malta before. Of course, we've got a very, very good friend of ours, a lovely chap, Ian, Maltese Hammer, who lives out there. He'd been trying to get me out there for years, and finally got me out there. So I had a week out there, and saw as the Cypriots attack again. It's shot from the edge of the box, and West Ham having trouble clearing their lines there for a few minutes. So I went out to Malta, and my last night out there was the night of the game. And back in the days when the club used to talk to us, they got me a press pass, and I went to the post-match press conference, and sort of did that. Of course, we went to penalties, as I recall, and it was steamingly hot evening. Really, really, even the Maltese were complaining about how hot it had been, and at midnight, it was still something like 25, 26 degrees. Yeah. And I was waiting outside the general area to try and get myself a lift back to my hotel. And the Maltese manager came across and started talking to me, and sort of said he'd recognised me from back in England, and we had a chat. And I explained who we were, etc. And he said, "Well, how are you getting back to your hotel?" And I said, "Well, I've been trying to get a cab, but all the numbers I've got to keep getting engaged." And he said, "Oh, well," he said, "Unfortunately, we're not going that way. Otherwise, I'd have given you a lift in our team bus," so, which is not something I've ever had from Pep Guardiola, for example. But, no, nice guy. I'll look his name up later on. He was, so had time to talk to us, and it's a good trip, that one. Enjoyed that week.
Yeah, had a few of those over the years. We just rewriting those couple of shots that the home side had there. Head up very narrowly over the bar, actually, come from the corner, number 12, and then shot over the bar just a minute later from Gus, as it says on his shirt, the number 7. No, we got an update.
Yeah, no, just I went, oh dear, as Areola tried to get things moving quickly, and but it was a poor throw, easily cut out by the home side, who are actually sitting and dominating possession at the moment, and we're not in gear at all. And they're fair play to the home side, they're working their socks off, and this is not a good start from my point of view, I think. Yeah.
No, Rio, you go along with that. It's we kind of started pretty brightly, but we seem to have slipped back into normal mode now, just sitting on the back foot.
Yeah, that's enough attacking and possession for one evening. So let's just get dominated again. You know, we're incredibly good at that.
Yeah. Yes. It's we've got a very, very poor recent record against these minnows from this part of the world. I keep saying minnows, but I feel like I'm kind of tempting fate a little bit there. But anyway, a couple of hellos to David O'Rourke joining us on the stream. Alan Pardew's dad saying, I've got that Oxford United feeling. Craven Moorhead also joining us on the stream. Astra Gugu all over again, says Craven. Let's hope not. Anyway, West Ham have the second leg at home next week, of course. In between that, we've got another Premier League game on Sunday. Rio, Aston Villa, isn't it, this weekend? We normally do this at the end, but we can do it now because there's not much happening on the pitch. What are your thoughts on that one? Are you any confidence at all about the Villa game, or?
No. I said earlier, I mean, every bit of confidence I've got has been sapped out of us this year. You know, against Villa, we got a decent record, but I just got this really bad feeling about everything at the moment. And yeah, we've seen the way that we lined up in the league on Saturday. I really can't see how we're going to progress. We can't get any worse, surely. But I just can't see the way that we've been lining up for far too long this season. It's been one or two exceptions, like the first day of the Man United game. We set up completely differently with a different mentality, and we look really good. But reverted to type on against Brighton, and it's been pretty much that kind of thing all season. And I really can't see him breaking the habit of a lifetime. And while we're desperate for points, and he's happy to take a point and try and eke out results. It's not something I'm comfortable with. It's not something I want to see, but I just fear that's what he's going to
do. Yes, it certainly isn't wonderful flying football so far from the Hammers Gnome, is it? I mean, we're just over halfway through the first half now, and I don't think we had a shot yet, have we?
I'm struggling to remember one. Just pausing because the Cypriots are in attack, but Fornals breaks it up nicely. Ball inside to Antonio, who turns nicely, but slightly too much on the touch, and been a little bit shorter there. He might have been able to send Fornals free down the wing, but it's back with Larnaca, which a long ball go, but that'll be watched out for a goal kick. It's. I mean, I watched the terrible journey home last night, and I got home in time to watch the just the second half of the Spurs game, and it looked like they were sort of holding out to try and defend a 1-0 deficit, which sort of baffled me. And it looks a little bit like we're trying to see out the game at the moment. Difference being obviously it's only the first leg, but. Having said that, it was funny watching Spurs last night. So,
what was the score? I know they got knocked out, but what was the score in the end?
It was they'd lost the first leg 1-0 and they drew that 1-0.
Oh, okay. Close.
Terrible pass from Ben Rama back to Lanzini there. That was just, it's our season in a nutshell. That it was two players, acres of space, no pressure on them. One plays it into another, the other one plays it back 3 yards wide of him, out for a throw-in.
Some match stats for you at the quarter, just over the quarter mark. Possession 41% for Larnaca, 59% for West Ham. Larnaca 3 shots so far, none on target. West Ham, not a single shot in the opening quarter of the game.
How many of those are on target?
And three corners for the home side, none for West Ham, 2 fouls committed by Larnaca, 1 committed by West Ham. So, it's apart from the possession stat, Rio, it's pretty much same old stuff for West Ham so far in this one.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, dear. Sorry, Rio, sorry. I'm just discussed that.
Put you're slightly in front of me. I thought they'd scored. Don't do that to me again.
No.
Right, now my heart's got back down to a regular pulse. It's
typical. Sorry, West Ham actually did attack there for a second. Sorry, Rio. Good move down the left-hand side. Got a good-looking cross coming on, and it looked like it might be good for Antonio, who promptly slipped on his backside and slid away from it. So,
Amazing. Rio?
sorry,
yeah, just exporting comedy moments to this part of the Europe now as well. No, I mean, it's largely uninspiring, isn't it? I mean, we're showing this fleeting glimpses of being able to be an interesting side going forward. There's been a couple of balls over the top. Well, Fornells did it once, Dan's did it once, but nothing's really sticking up front again. And this has been a large factor in our season. The distance and the disconnection between midfield and the forwards has been our downfall. Yeah, it's same old story for West Ham this season. And this could be a long night.
Yeah, actually there was one encouraging sign. I mean, we're really sort of picking at the carcass of something very old and smelly here, but Aaron Cresswell's run down the left-hand side was quite good to see. I mean, talking about that cross that came in for the one Noam was referring to a moment or two ago when Michail Antonio unfortunately slipped on his backside, but it was a good break by West Ham, good counter, and Aaron Cresswell opened his legs to get down the left and put in a decent cross, but come to nothing. But some signs anyway of West Ham actually doing something in this game. As I say, pretty slim pickings so far, no.
Yeah, well, it's not particularly inspiring as we said. I think actually, if we scored a first, I wouldn't say the floodgates are open, but that will make because obviously it's a classic cup tie, isn't it? We've got team 96 places below us in those rankings, and no disrespect to AEK Larnaca, but they're not. They're a very young club, aren't they? They're only a few years old, and so they haven't even got much of a sort of past to sort of look back on, and so they're very much going to be going for it as much as they can, and so we need to be professional. We get a first goal, and that probably will sort of put them back in their shells a little bit, but it will take the sting out of what they're trying to do at the moment, I think. So, but yeah, we've got to get that goal, and to get that goal, we've got to attack.
We have. You kind of you look at this game, and you sort of it's one of those where I think because of the vast gaps in quality of on paper between the teams, that it's one of those where the option should open up for West Ham at some point. The odd mistake from the home side maybe letting us in. Absolutely no signs of it so far, Rio. I mean, Larnaca have looked, given their, I mean, I know they're, 90 odd places, Noam said, below us in the footballing pyramid, but they've looked pretty decent so far. They've knocked the ball around well. They've caused West Ham problems, and by the sounds of it from Noam, they might have caused us another one.
No, we've just had a shot.
Oh, okay.
Antonio made a nuisance of himself in the box. Little tap through, little deflection. Fornells lays it off to Lanzini, who has a shot first time on the turn, couple of feet wide. It wasn't the most powerful of shots. Keeper didn't actually dive, ran across. So had it been a little bit closer, I don't think it would cause them any concern. But that's what we want to see Antonio doing. He didn't let the defender settle on a ball that was in the box and basically hustled him off it. And, I think if Antonio realises that that's what we've got here, he needs to do a bit more of that.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it wasn't the greatest effort at all, was it, by Benrahma? But something on the board anyway. I was just asking about Larnaca. I mean, to me, they've looked pretty composed and assured so far for a team, as we said, 90 odd places below West Ham in the rankings. Yeah.
It's been. I was under no doubts that there'd be a bit of a stern challenge, but I thought we'd be, have enough quality out there, be a little bit more comfortable than we are. But Larnaca, as you said, have been very composed. They've played the ball really well. They've eked out a lot of chances. They're probably lacking a little bit of quality in the final third, but where's that familiar from? But yeah, they're a bit of a tidy outfit, to be honest.
Good stuff. No.
Yeah, excellent run from some good one-touch football from West Ham, beginning to now sort of show a little bit. Ball ended up with Ben Rama, who beat 3 or 4 players, some of them twice. Got the ball into the box, got a shot in, but straight at the keeper. But that's 1 or 2 signs that will do the team a bit of sort of the confidence a bit of good. Just 1 or 2 signs that the quality is beginning to show. Cypriot player down on the floor getting treatment at the moment, so quite sure what they're showing here. They're showing all sorts of, like a little montage of players sort of interesting coverage by the Cypriot TV company, I presume, because there's nothing happening at the moment, so they're just showing lots of little clips of players wandering around waving at each other, which is interesting. I'm not sure if they put that to music. I've got the volume turned down, but yeah, bit more at please.
Yeah, good work that by Ben Rama. 5 players around him for that shot. For an easy one for the keeper, Pirich, but shot to the near post. But good work from West Ham, and good to see West Ham just beginning to show that we're the Premier League team here, not the other way around. Seen a nice shot of the away fans. Don't look too happy. Probably all bearing hangovers, the dirty stop outs from last night, no doubt. Having spent a bit of time in the sun. I was told by someone over there today that it's 25 degrees, which is a bit tasty. I was a bit disappointed actually, because this time last year when we were in Malaga, it was only 17, which is outrageous. Anyway, there you go. 0-0 still. Possession now. I'm seeing some real contrasting stats. So we just saw a stat flash up on the screen a few moments ago, Rio, that told us that Larnaca have got 52% to West Ham's 48. But according to the BBC, it's 57-53 in West Ham's favour. Not that it matters a great deal anyway, really, because neither side's dominating. But better anyway to see West Ham. Couple of shots coming in, Rio, from the Hammers. Ben Rama, both of them. Did you see him as key in this one tonight, or what's your view?
I was actually having a discussion with my son earlier about Ben Rama. It wasn't particularly complimentary, but tonight, for me, is the kind of game he normally shines against a lower quality opposition. He's almost a flat track bully, in my opinion. I know he's chipped in with quite a few goals this season. Some we've been lacking elsewhere, but his performances are just not of the standard required for me.
Yeah,
I still maintain he's better as an impact sub. Starting from the off, he just doesn't produce enough quality in the right areas on a consistent basis. So
yes. 1-0 West Ham, and
we have a goal. We have a goal. No, take us through it.
Good work down the left. It was beginning to sort of show some good work down the left. Crossing from, I think, Cresswell, Antonio in acres of space, glancing header, bottom right-hand corner. AEK 0, West Ham 1, and they're doing some sort of dance celebration. It's just seeing it again here. So, looking for offside there isn't, and Antonio is literally all on his own, just outside the 6-yard box. Sorry, it's Ben Rama. Sorry, supplied the cross, not Cresswell. Apologies, my error. Cresswell evolved earlier on the build-up, but that left-hand side of ours looks quite promising. It was a gift of a goal for Antonio. Really great cross, perfect cross. All Antonio had to do there was just nod his head at it, and away we were. So that'll settle things down a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, no, so who can I criticise now to get an assist from?
Now, West Ham got a bit between their teeth again. Ben Rama again bursting down the middle into the box now, tries to get a shot in, but it's clips the heel of a defender and rolls through at the keeper. But literally straight from the kickoff, West Ham was straight at it again. So don't want to sound like Nostradamus here, but that thing I said about getting the first goal would probably mean that a complete change of the complexion, the way West Ham are playing. It's early days after the goal, of course, but so far so good. Am I ahead of you guys at the moment? Then
You're yes, you are.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Well, West Ham on the attack again. Oh, just slightly too wide. Fornals rescues the ball, gets the cross into the far post, but that's cleared. It's going to go out for it. Declan Rice keeps it in on the left, plays it to Ben Rama, plays it into Lanzini. But nice football there, but nearly nice little interplay between Ben Rama and Lanzini, but it's just cut out. So, that goal's certainly changed things completely. West Ham are heads up now and full of confidence and starting to play like a team 96 places better off than their opponents.
Good stuff. Thanks, Dome. Rio, your thoughts on the goal? Decent finish from Mickey Antonio and a good cross in.
Yeah, very good cross. Simple guided header, but how many times we've seen Antonio balls them up? So yeah, very nice to see. Nice little move. Passage of play down left hand side was, it's something we haven't done enough of today. But yeah, good signs from West Ham now. And as I was saying, I see Ben Rama's a bit of a flat track bully, and I hate to say I told you so, but he's come up trumps.
He certainly did. It was a decent cross from the left hand side, but as the chaps here were saying, it was a really good build up from West Ham on the left. Very, very patient end to end stuff. But and another cross, Gnome, that's ended up in the back of the net. We had that stat, didn't we? Fairly recently, we hadn't scored for something like 250 crosses. And that's 3 or 4 we've got now from out wide. So good stuff anyway. But West Ham lead AEK Larnaca after 38.5 minutes by 1-0 here at the AEK Stadium in Cyprus. Good stuff.
Yeah. Where we were sort of looking a little bit sort of, I would say lackadaisical, but not really sort of giving it all. We're now sort of really sort of dominating now. Fornals, it's suddenly like somebody said, see, 1-0 up, now you can play. I wish somebody had said you've got to earn that 1-0 up before you do that. But no, looking a lot more comfortable now. So again, some good stuff down the left, although we've played it back a little bit. But yeah, we're retaining possession well, and
yeah, looking good. Good stuff. A bit of a slow start from West Ham. For anyone joining the sleigh, Larnaca managed to create 2 or 3 shots early on. Didn't really threaten Alphonse Areola, but we're looking very comfortable on the ball. West Ham not particularly getting into the game at that point, but around about half hour, the Hammers kind of started to notch up the gear, and some good work down the left, couple of sides, couple of decent balls coming in, came to nothing. And then the goal coming, 36 minutes, the mark for the opening goal. Ben Rama with the assist, Mikhail Antonio with the goal. So West Ham leading, 5 minutes to go to half-time. The Hammers looking good so far in this last 16 first leg tie here in Cyprus. We shall be, of course, bringing you results from elsewhere a bit later. I'm not sure if there's any games kicking off. Is there any others at 5:45, chaps, that we know of? Or we'll have a look.
Arsenal went 1-0 up at Sporting, but Sporting have just equalised a minute or so ago. So that game's 1-1. That's just, they flashed that up on my my telly as Larnaca now look to build something, but the cross gets cleared out.
I can tell you that there are 3 other ties taking place actually, Noam, in the Conference League right now.
Yeah.
So 4 starting now, 4 tonight. Couple of interesting ones. I mean, it's a game and a half in Rome. Lazio hosting Dutch side AZ Alkmaar. If I remember rightly, Pinky was saying during the live show when we picked when we did the draw that he quite fancied Alkmaar to win that one. Well, they are 2-1 up in Italy. Lazio 1, Alkmaar 2, and that's actually finished, that one.
That was Tuesday.
No, that was played. Yeah, sorry, that was played Tuesday. That's why that was finished. Didn't realise it was an early game. Anyway, there you go. 3 games played, being played right now. Anderlecht hosting Villarreal. Villarreal, of course, one of the tournament favourites. They're a goal to the good in Belgium at the moment. The only goal of the game coming there from Manu Trigaros after 28 minutes. As we see Larnaca come forward. Sheriff and Nice. Nice, of course, another one of the fancy teams. Pinky in that show. The draw saying that he fancied them to go a long way. That's 0-0 there at the moment. Of course, this one 1-0 to West Ham. So 3 games being played at the moment, not 4. Later tonight, we've got Ghent versus Basaksehir, Basel versus Bratislava, Lech Poznan versus Djurgården of Sweden, and Fiorentina against the second Turkish side left in the competition, Sivasspor. All 8 o'clock kickoffs tonight. No, we're 3 minutes to go to half time. 1-0 West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham pretty much camped on the edge of the box, but an awkward bounce there. Declan's got under it and missed the header, but that's a bit unfortunate. He missed the header, and the Cyprus number 12, his name is Lopez, just managed to run it out of play. So just don't want to see us being sort of let's play this professionally. Let's be, I wouldn't say pay them respect, but let's not take the mickey a bit. We just need to do this ruthlessly, and just a couple of signs where 1 or 2 players may be thinking on the ball that I'll over elaborate here, and no, let's just keep it simple, and it's the way we got to go. And keep doing that.
Looking good. I just want to come back briefly, chaps, to that game on Tuesday night, which I haven't seen the result for. Lazio Alkmaar. Rio, bit of a surprise for you, Alkmaar winning that. I mean, Lazio, of course, was one of the teams we feared facing in this tournament.
Yeah, I had Lazio down as probably the joint favourites with ourselves and probably Nice. I know Pinky quite rated AZ, but I haven't seen a lot of them this season, and what I had seen, I wasn't overly impressed. So, yeah, big shock for me. There's no doubt I think Lazio come out firing the second leg, and I think it'd be a really entertaining game. But, yeah, bit of a shock.
Lazio led 1-0, Pedro scoring in the 18th minute for the Serie A side, and then Alkmaar scoring twice. Vangelis, Pavlidis scoring on the strike of half-time, then Milos Kerkits scoring in the 62nd minute to win that tie. It's a shock for you, that one, Noam, or were you not quite so surprised to see Alkmaar pull off that win?
I knew Alkmaar were a decent side, etc., but it's always away European ties in Italy are really, really difficult. So that is a really, really good result for the Dutchman. I once went to see them play in Maastricht, but that was when they still had the 67. You remember that? They were AZ 67 Alkmaar, which now just breaking off of that. Loose ball comes to Fornals on the edge of the box. He tees it up and gets this ball played in from Lanzini. One touch, bounces nicely. A bad shot, foot or so wide. There are 3 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, and which we've just entered into. So probably about half a minute into that now, as they show the replay of the shot. Not bad effort for Fornals, just the radar a little bit off. But 40 seconds now into the stoppage. So another one here would be nice. That would really set things nicely up. And Rice breaks forward. Nice ball into Antonio. He's got Fornals outside him. Oh, Antonio! 2-0. What a goal. You sure that's Antonio? He's got a ball on the edge of the box, and he's got Fornals outside him. And you think, lay it off to Fornals. He just looks up and just places it top right-hand corner. He's on a hat trick. Was I saying just then about it'd be nice to get a goal now? Well, yeah. It's a lovely ball in from Declan Rice. Now he turns, he just curls it around. He's got a defender in front of him, curls it around. It starts off outside the goalpost and curls in. That's a cracker. That's one of the best goals I've ever seen him score.
Amazing scenes. I mean, it all came from a Larnaca move. It's a long goal kick.
Yeah.
Punted out, which Noah Fagerd won, and Declan Rice found Michael Antonio on the edge of the box. He just picked his spot, and Rio. I might be jumping the gun a little bit here, but I'm kind of wondering if that's the tie over already before the half time, the first game.
Well, because my stream is a little bit behind still, I still haven't seen it. So, but yeah, you would have hoped so. I mean, 2-0 at half time in the first leg on the European tie. You got to think it's done, isn't it? Done and dusted. It really should be. You know, our propensity for making life incredibly difficult for ourselves, but against the level of opposition we got tonight, we really should put this game to bed and really comfortable night at London Stadium next week, and hopefully see you in the quarterfinals.
There you go. It's 2 for Michael Antonio. We're not even at half time yet. The Hammer's comfortable now after a pretty slow start, but that was some finish. I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, I think, a few moments ago about how much more time and space the players have got on the ball. You kind of, you think in the Premier League, Antonio doesn't get that much time to pick his spot, but nonetheless, it's a great finish.
Yeah, that's half time, by the way. You're quite right. In both cases, Antonio had the freedom of Cyprus to do what he had to do. But I mean, when he looked like he was going to shoot, I guess this is just force a habit with Antonio. I'm thinking, no, play 4 hours in on the right. Well, I think if you look back on this when it's gone in, the total surprise on my face probably gives it away a little bit, doesn't it? So, I never like saying, sort of taking anything for granted, foregone conclusion, all that, but I think we're a long way to having the tie settled, which, as I said earlier on, what was a good result? Well, a good result is one where the second leg of the tie is not really a worry, and we can sort of cut our cloth when we get back home accordingly. Yeah. And we're a long way towards that at the moment, I think.
There were an awful lot of people, Rio, on the KUMB.com match thread scathing of David Moyes' decision to play Antonio instead of Scamacca tonight. You've been vindicated somewhat by what we've seen in the opening 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say, 2 goals, you can't argue with it. I mean, I was one of those who was less than impressed that he'd picked Mickey in front of Scamacca. And there was numerous reasons for that. I went into a couple of them earlier on, but we've got a relegation battle to come up against. And if Mikel Antonio had, and his rather suspect fitness, because that's come into play a lot more over the last 18 months or so, it ruled him out of the relegation running, you would have been fuming. But at the moment, it's worked a treat. 2 goals, both of them very nice goals and all. Deft little header, almost reminiscent of Roberto Carlos, the way the ball moved there.
Yeah, it was.
Fair play to the manager for picking him, but before the game, I was scathing myself. So I can't blame anyone on the forum or the stream who was anti the decision. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. Well done, Dave.
Half-time stats. West Ham United 59% possession compared to Larnaca's 41. West Ham 6 shots, 3 on target, including the 2 goals. AEK have managed to muster up 4 shots so far, but yet to test Alphonse Areola. Not a single one on target. They lead the corner count by 3-0, but it's West Ham who lead by 2-0 at half-time here. Good performance in the end by the Hammers. Slow start, but managed to get into the groove a little bit and control the last 15 minutes or so. And it's from that part of the game from which both goals arrived. Noam, would that be Mickey Antonio's second ever goal from outside the box? I think it was outside the box anyway.
It was outside the box. I haven't got the stats on that, but
it is.
Is that right? Yeah. It's still only one before then.
His first one was at Brighton away, last game of the season last year.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
and he certainly hasn't done it since this season, as far as I can remember.
Yeah. But yeah, another reason I was so sort of surprised when I saw the ball nestling in the back of my net. It really was sort of so yeah, he's well, as I say, give him that amount of time, give him that amount of space, then yeah, the guy didn't close him down, and the distance away from Antonio was kind of perfect, really, for Antonio to use him as the shield to curl it round. But yeah, he certainly won't get that sort of time and space if he plays on Saturday anyway.
No, for
But
sure.
yeah, I was getting back to the subject because I think I came in, finally managed to sign in when Rio was finishing off talking about Scamacca. And yeah, I was convinced that Scamacca would start today, purely because he's looked at his best in the European games. And yeah, we've seen what little we've seen of him at his best. It's always been pretty much against the European side. So yeah, so well, you can't knock it if it works. So,
well, it's certainly working so far. That's for sure.
yeah, I mean, Antonio on
decent.
a hat trick, as I say.
Yeah, good stuff. I just wonder if we will see Scamacca at some point in the second half. I mean, especially if we remain a couple of goals ahead. Let's have a couple of there's a quick look at the live chat on YouTube to see what's being said. Mark Lamb's joined us. Mark, good to see you on the stream. And one or two others joining us. Elaine, good to see you as well. I hope you managed to log into the forum. Had one or two problems, haven't we, recently? AGXM on as well, and one or two others. Welcome, good evening to you all. Alan Pardew's dad says, I'm happy with that. Better than expected. And Craven Moorhead, referring to Miguel Antonio, says, it's about time he showed up for once. Hobo Jangba adding Struth. That's almost surreal about his second goal. Dan B asking Gnome if you saw Antonio's goal for Jamaica, a belter, also from outside the box. Did you happen to see one of those?
No, I didn't.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I may have done at the time, but I certainly had. Sorry, I'm having a few issues.
Oh, you've gone quiet now. No, we've lost you completely sound wise. Don't know if you can hear me. Anyway, while Gnome's trying to resolve. There you go. We got you. We got a hello. We got a hello.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Look, I'm going to have to disappear for a second. Obviously, I've spent the last few days in Ireland, and my mum's out there at the moment trying to get hold of me. So I'll log out for a second. I'll come back shortly.
Yep, no problem. Okay. Really, I was going to go and have a quick look at the KUMB.com forum match thread, but it just looks like it's a big slangy match on there. It looks like there was a lot of posters who are rather dismissive of David Moyes' selection. Some others who felt Scamacca should have started, and some fellow members giving them a bit of a gentle ribbing. Given that Miguel Antonio's going to score 2 goals now, but anyway, if I can find any sensible comments, I'll let you know.
I'll be with Num in about 25 minutes then.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, here we go. Radi Kovac posted on the thread, says that sticking plasters ×2 from Antonio. He didn't have to move for the header, although the cross was brilliantly executed, as was the finish. Not sure he even jumped, did he? And 99 times out of 100, that shot hits a defender or rose head. Not sure their stadium is big enough to have a rose head. Moyes should be telling the players that the first 30 minutes were unacceptable and that we need to get a foot on the ball more consistently. Antonio may even come off at half-time. The recent theme is that a player without any visible injury goes off with an injury at half-time. So I'm guessing it will be Kera. A bit of a strange post, really, all in all. Burnley Hammer adding that finish was very composed and clinical, very un-Antonio-like. Aside from that, we've started to pass the ball around nicely to control the game after a cagey start, but have lacked a bit of penetration from midfield. To be honest, that's pretty much what I'd expect from a midfield of Rice, Downs and Lanzini. Thoughts on the midfield, Rio? Rice, Downs, and Lanzini. Haven't seen an awful lot of any of them, have we? Declan Rice seems to have been a bit quiet. Someone mentioned that on the stream, but doing a decent job so far for you, the three of them.
He was instrumental in the first goal, wasn't he? That driving run.
Fair point. Yeah.
But yeah, he's not been that imposing really. And I mean, for a midfield three of like, those three, Downs and Rice in particular, known to get their foot in, like a challenge, like the surge forward a little bit. But keep it tidy. We haven't really seen a lot from them. Lanzini's a bit more involved, and I presume he was brought in to have had a little bit ball retention to the proceedings since we gave you away at will on Saturday. With Manuel, you know that once he gets the ball, he will look up, he will keep it, look for a key pass, even if it's like going backwards. He won't waste the ball willy-nilly. So that's kind of gives us a little bit more balance this evening. But to be honest, no one's actually really shone for us tonight. I mean, Mikel, obviously with the 2 goals, is the standout candidate at the moment. But even his link-up play hasn't been particularly impressive. I just think the 2 chances that we have scored from, we've just taken our opportunities really well. We've been surprisingly clinical. But there hasn't been a lot to write home about anywhere else for me. I thought we gave Larnaca a bit of a easy ride for the first 15, 20 minutes. Now, we've been there face on the off, but we allowed it to kind of eat back into it. So, obviously, Cast is exerting itself at the moment, but no, we didn't make it easy for ourselves in that first opening 25 minutes or so.
No, we certainly didn't. Is this, we mentioned at the top of the show the previous dalliances with the UEFA Cup and Europa League under Slaven Bilic a few years back, where we, went out in almost embarrassing scenes to teams like Astrajurju. But is this a different sort of West Ham from that team? Is this just a far more professional West Ham? Because we, as you said there, we've taken our chances, haven't we, tonight? We've not been in full control. You certainly couldn't say that, but we've certainly made the most of the opportunities that have come our way.
I think the experience that a lot of the squad have gained over the last 18 months in European competition is beginning to show. In previous years, we've gone on, we've been really kind of naive, left ourselves far too open at the back at times, conceded possession far too easy at times. So we've learned our lessons in that respect. The slower pace of the game when you play against sides like this doesn't always suit us, but we have got that degree of intelligence. We have got the players, the likes of Lanzini, the likes of Rice, who are clever enough to know when to pass the ball, when to release it, when to kind of look to exert their kind of authority on attacking opposing teams. But we in the previous when under Pardew, even playing the likes of Mascherano, we looked like we didn't really belong out there. It was a very young side apart from 2 or 3 of them players, and it really showed at times. We were very naive, particularly against Palermo.
Yeah, 15 years ago now. Doesn't seem that long ago, does it? But 15 whole years since that particular time. I wanted to ask you about, we haven't really seen an awful lot of them, but, we chatted at the top of the show and said it's nice to see Kurt Zuma and Naya Fagerd back together as a partnership. What have you made of them 2 at the back so far?
They haven't really been put under threat by the Larnaca forwards, but they look comfortable. They've utilised the ball really well. They played it around the back very nicely. Nothing too kind of drastic. It's just nice to see them get a little bit more fitness under their belt and develop even the tiniest bit of understanding. Zuma's been, I said that, as I said at the top of the show, I don't think Kurt Zuma's looked completely fit at any stage of this season. He's always looked like he's been playing with an injury. So I just hope we haven't rushed him back, and I hope that this is the kind of game where he can get a little bit of match fitness, a little bit of sharpness, develop the seeds of understanding with a Gerd, and as long as I don't make no silly mistakes, I'll be more than happy with what I've seen so far. But they've not really been tested.
Also back in the team tonight, Aaron Cresswell. We mentioned him earlier on, didn't we? He said he made that good foray down the left. I mean, what's your view on Cresswell? Is it a case now his race is pretty much well and truly won at West Ham, and he's only really going to be used in these sort of ties? Do you think he's still got a part to play in the Premier League for the Hammers?
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I think Aaron Cresswell has been a very good servant at West Ham. We've had more than good value from him. The cracks began to appear defensively last year. And from getting a regular run out at the top flight in English football, he just isn't up to it. Sides like this, not too bad. He has more time on the ball, has more space. He's not under constant pressure and having really pacey attacking wingers going at him like full tilt, because he was targeted a few times when Frankfurt did it, didn't they? They targeted him last year. But no, this is ideal for him. And I want to see him go out on a high rather than being crushed by really quality sides in the Premier League. And he leaves West Ham with a bit of a reputation, a bit of leaving bad memories when he doesn't deserve it, because he's been such a great fallback for us. Good enough to get back in the England squad. Still good enough last season to chip him with a few goals. He's been versatile. He's played left wing, played left back. He's played left sided centre half on occasions, and he's never really let anyone down. It's just old age creeps up on you.
Certainly does. Certainly does. Something we all know all about, unfortunately.
I'm right.
So we're just waiting for the second half to start. Gnome is I don't know if it's something to do with old age or whether he's completely forgotten where we are, or if he's forgotten completely that we're in the stream. But he hasn't joined us back yet. I hope he's all right. We're going to get him back very shortly. But the players are out on the pitch. Number 66, Mummus. Kera is a shot of Tilo Kera back in the side, of course, tonight, playing at right back. Praying to some unknown deity before the second half kicks off. There's David Moyes coming out of the tunnel, looking on it, as they say. Declan Rice as well. How's this second half going to go, Rio? Do we see it being a capitulation by the home side? Do you think the Hammers will just be happy to stick with what they've got, or do you think there could be a bit of a shock in the system and maybe a comeback for the home side?
I think the home side have really got to go for it, but I don't think they showed enough quality in that first half, particularly in the attacking third, to really, really test us. So I'm expecting them to come at us a little bit, but I think we'll be more than comfortable enough. And I actually think we probably might get one or two goals more. I think we'll hit them on the break. Obviously, as they tire, the level of fitness in the Premiership and the speed of play and the stamina levels required of a week in, week out in the Premier League should really tell. So I'm expecting possibly to go back to London staying with a 3 or 4 goal lead here.
Okay, good stuff. Joining us once again for the second half is Gnome. How do you see the second half going? Do you think it'll just be a question of West Ham consolidating and holding on for what we've got, or do you think we might go for it a bit here?
I think we'll sort of go for it, but there's no need to go all tonto on it. I think I'm with Rio there. I think this is going to be 3 or 4 in the end. I'd be happy with 3, to be honest, because I've got a bet on for that, but that's neither here nor there. We're underway here. I don't know if I'm still way ahead of you or anything, but we are underway. It's a little bit. Larnaca have started to go back, but we've now got a ball down the left. Benrahma into Antonio. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh,
hey, first one of the day. Doing.
Oh, that was looking like 3-0. It was a lovely move from West Ham. Ball played down the line, lovely outside the right foot from Benrahma in. One touch from Antonio, across the keeper. It's one of those ones that it's come off the post and rolled in front of the line and gone out for a goal kick. At the opposite side to the post it hit. So, it's now we're on again. Antonio edge of the box, plays it to Fornals. Lanzini and Fornals get a bit muddled, but it's now with Benrahma. Inside the box, Benrahma tries to curl one top right-hand corner, but gets a little bit wrong, goes over for a goal kick. Yes. Apologies for the confusion earlier on. As I say, my dear mother's out in Cove in County Cork at the moment. We were over there at the weekend. I only got back yesterday. So when she rings at the moment, there are various bills and stuff I've got to pay for the last week, which I was just expecting that to be, can you transfer some money over for us? And it wasn't. So just mum ringing in, missing her son. Jeff says hello, by the way.
Hello, Jeff. Hello,
well,
Jeff. Good to see you.
He's not here, but yeah.
Okay.
But,
just going back to that chance. I mean, it was should have been a third, really, Fran. So it's a lovely little through ball threaded in by side Ben Rama. Mickey Antonio taking the shot from the edge of the box, just trying to roll it in past the goalkeeper to his right hand side. As Noam said, hit the inside of the post, straight across the goal and out again. Rio's just seen it, I think, by the look of his face.
I've just had a nightmare because my iPad just collapsed on me and it wouldn't stand up. And I've just gone to Mickey Antonio's chance. He's never going to get. He's never going to close to that to complete the hat-trick there, is he? That's desperately unlucky.
It was.
But, very sharp play by Antonio and a good build-up by West Ham again. And it's exactly what I think we're going to go back with a 3 or 4 goal lead, because I just think we've got that little bit more of a clinical edge than they have. And I just think it's just a matter of time before we notch another one.
Yeah, it's kind of beginning to tell a bit, Noam, isn't it?
Sorry, mate.
Go on, over to you.
Well, I was just going to say it was an unusual save from a corner from Areola just then. The corner came across and he had to punch it and didn't get a clean punch on it at all, and sort of punched it downwards. But before anybody else could react, he just went out and gathered it himself. Now Antonio, defender's gone through. That's Milicevic has gone through the back of Antonio. That's not the first time that's happened today. And he's hobbling away. But, how dare you score 2 goals against us? So, I think we're looking at, I think that third will be sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly looks like it, the way we're
having said that, Cresswell gives the ball away, terrible ball in the middle of the park, and to give Larnaca possession. So just stick with this as guy goes down the left-hand side and Rice puts that out for a corner. That's their 5th corner so far, by the way. We haven't had any yet, have we?
No, not yet. It was 3-0 at half time.
Yeah. Well, just say they're the one which Areola gathered not particularly comfortably a few seconds ago, and that all stemmed from a really poor pass from Cresswell. Just played it into the middle of the park, wasn't looking what he was doing. Corner comes across, it's played sort of near post, but it's blocked out. Now West Ham can go on the break here. Now this is where we're going to look dangerous. Ben Rama looking for, plays the ball out wide, out to the right-hand side, and that's just silly. Waste of a good opportunity. I think it was Fornals trying to go past the player. Yeah, Fornals tried to go past the player, didn't get any winner, and then tugged him back. Good break. Fornals wasted it. Yeah.
Yep. So it remains 51 and a half minutes gone. It remains AEK Larnaca 0, West Ham United 2. The Hammers scoring twice in the first half. Mickey Antonio getting them both after 36 minutes and in the second minute of 3 added on at the end of the first half. Roberto Carlos-esque bender round the defender into the top right-hand corner. He looked more surprised than we were. If you saw Noam's response, you'd have seen us being a bit surprised as well at the way it went in. But anyway, it's a goal. It was a goal, and it's 2-0 to West Ham, who are looking comfortable out here in Cyprus. In this first leg, of course, don't forget there's a second leg coming up at West Ham next week. All those lucky people that have paid up to £200 for your seats up there in the posh seats, but you can't wait to see a dead rubber next week against the Cypriot title holders. Anyway. Rio, thoughts on the half so far? We're only a few minutes in, but we look pretty comfortable, don't we, so far? We'll be back in just a tick.
Pretty comfortable. I know Larnaca just forced a couple of corners, but there's nothing to be frightened of here. Yeah, as I said, in the final third, they might knock the ball around quite nicely in midfield, but we've seen the defensive fallibility, and they've got nothing up front, nothing really to trouble 2 international defenders. So this is going to be a really comfortable outcome for me. Just want to be a little bit indulgent for the moment. Just to say hello to my mate Jason, who's watching in from Malaysia, and also my other mate Paul. Now we're done requests. Carry on.
If they're asking for a keyboard solo, forget it. Yeah, as I say, I think comfortable is the word. I mean, I wouldn't say we looked uncomfortable in the early stages, but we didn't look. We hadn't settled. It took a little while for us to settle, but once we did, said that now Larnaca on the attack down their left, and Kera's out there to try and block the cross, but he hasn't blocked the cross. And Aged does very well, a bit of head tennis in the box, and Birama heads it back, and it's finally hooked away long. Declan Rice gets underneath it, but can't control it. Larnaca can start trying to build up again. And just a little spell of possession here for Larnaca. As I say, we're doesn't look like we're going to buckle, but I think we're having a bit of a rest, actually. Ben Downs has just put a challenge in. He's taken a knock to the shin there as part of that, I think, and he's not looking happy. I think I don't know who caught him there, but it's Declan Rice is down. So, Declan Rice is down from that challenge on the, two challenges on the touchline, 2 hacks at him before he got given away. Now, Downs earlier, just a few seconds before that, got a touch in. There was a slightly late foot left in by the, quite sure who it was there. And of course, no match is complete without Antonio sitting out. He's grasping his calf muscle. We're about to make 3 changes. Skamaka, Souček and Bowen are going to come on in a few moments. Downs doesn't look comfortable. It's taken a while, but the physio's finally on. Antonio's down by the touchline. He's been clutching his calf muscle. So they're just showing Antonio's first goal as a sort of a time filler while the physios do their work. I don't quite know what that dance is all about, but Antonio does love a daft celebration. And now they're showing his second, which, that's about the 14th time I've seen that, and I still don't think he's going to score it. So surprises me every time it goes in. Still not sure what the score on the substitutions is. I think Downs is actually he's still on the floor, actually getting some quite intensive-looking treatment over there on the just outside our box. Obviously, more on that as soon as it happens. I think they might be thinking about the substitutions and waiting to see what Downs' situation is, because Souček's about to come on, but who that's going to be in favour of. Well, Downs is up and he's hobbling off. He's hobbling off very gingerly. Seems to be trying to break into a jog up and down the touchline. So it looks like he's going to come back on. But it was one of those ones where you get a slight kick, the tender part of the foot, just after the ball's gone. Right, substitutions are plenty being made. I think both sides are making 3 at the moment. So I'll run through these as they display them for you. Lopez is off and Nikolic is on. Nikolic wearing the coveted number 99 shirt, of course. The second Cypriot substitution is Casato is off and Farage is on.
Is that Nigel Farage?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. He's probably there to keep people out. And Altman's just come on. Didn't see who came off there, actually, because we're too busy laughing at your Nigel Farage joke. So, but West Ham substitutions, 3 substitutes are still stood there. and Antonio's hobbled back on after his thing. So it doesn't look like we're making the substitutions just yet. And they're waiting for, they're just going to take the free kick. The referee's adamant that he's not going to allow the substitutions at this point. He keeps shaking his head. So, long kick from Areola. Downs is back on. Update from Lisbon, Sporting a 2-1 up against Arsenal now. So,
Come on. Oh, yeah, Arsenal.
I thought that might.
I might have mentioned it once or twice before, but I detest Arsenal.
Yeah, really, Ray. You should mention that once in a while. Right. Finally, the substitutions. Now, Antonio is the one coming. No, Ben Rama's off for Bowen. Fornals is off. And Antonio off, and Scamacca's going on. So we've got Bowen, Scamacca, and Souček, I think, are on. Just make the 2 or 3. Yeah, Souček's on. And I think Downs. Oh, Rice. Sorry, Rice has gone off. Yeah, that's probably not an unwise move. Give Declan a bit of a break. So, which explains why they were waiting to see how fit Downs was before making the change. So we're underway again, and Fornals didn't come off. I think he's come over to get instructions. So now Bowen's on the ball for the first time. Gets it past the Downs is out there, and West Ham now can build an attack from the right-hand side. A lot of possession going on there, little triangles. Now, Bowen's in the box here, cuts inside, and the camera work wasn't the greatest there, and it flashed past an out of camera shot, but it was also wide of the goal. But instant good work from Bowen there, and a couple of feet wide. It's, yeah. The Cypriot cameraman, I presume it's a Cypriot cameraman, didn't quite keep up with the ball there, and for half a second there was a possibility that might have gone in.
Okay, goals elsewhere in the Conference League. We brought you news of a couple of goals before the break. There's been a couple more since. Anderlecht equalised at home to Villarreal. Anders Dreyer scoring in the 57th minute for the Belgians. So that's now 1-1. There was a goal also that we didn't bring you just before half-time, actually, pretty much at exactly the same time that Mickey Antonio scored West Ham's second. Ayoub Amrai scored for Nice in Sheriff in the third added on minute at the end of the first half. And the Ligue 1 side lead Sheriff 1-0 over there right now. So West Ham, of course, 2-0 up here. The game earlier, Lazio beaten at home by Alkmaar on Tuesday night 2-1. So that's how things stand at the moment in the Conference League. In terms of match stats here, possession-wise, West Ham lead 57-43. 8 shots for West Ham, 3 on target, 4 shots for the hosts. Still yet to have a shot on target, even though they've had 5 corners to West Ham's none so far. Rio, we're just over an hour ago. Are you happy with what you've seen so far with the third to go?
Yeah, you can't be disappointed with this. 2-0 win away from home. Not really looked in under any threat. It's easy pickings at the moment, and this is exactly what you need at this stage of the competition. You can only beat what's in front of you, and we've seen time and time again the amount of times that we balls these kind of situations up. So to be so kind of relaxed, so confident, so comfortable, you can't ask for anything more, can you?
No, I think that's the key point, is that you can only beat what's in front of you. So those people who are making comments about, we're playing a team that's the equivalent of a League One side, or that they're, minnows, can't help it, chaps, can't help it. This is who we're facing tonight. This is who we've been drawn against, and you can only beat the team that you're playing. And West Ham doing a very, very good job of that so far, looking in complete control with a little more than 27 minutes to go here or there. We're not there. Wish we were. But no, it's snowing here. It's 26 degrees over there, lucky buggers. No, you happy with what you've seen so far in this second half?
Yeah. It took a while for us to get going, but once we got the goals, it's been a thoroughly sort of workmanlike professional performance, which is what you need in the away leg. In any sort of match against teams that are allegedly sort of lower orders, you need to go in it with the right frame of mind, and clearly we have. Now, Fornal's edge of the box, nearly played into Skamaka there. Just Tomovic, the number 4 there, very good defensive clearance. That was excellent work from Tomovic there, because Skamaka was lurking at the far post. Skamaka then goes and gives a free kick away. Excellent cross by Fornals. Can't praise that defensive clearance enough from Tomovic there. That was absolutely superb.
West Ham lead 2-0. And looking good at the moment. 3 substitutes made by West Ham a few minutes ago. If you missed those, Downs, Skamaka, Souček, Rice, Antonio, and Benrahma going off, I think. No?
Yeah, sorry, it's Souček, Bowen, and Skamaka. You said Downs.
Who went off? Rice, Antonio, and
Rice, Antonio, Benrahma.
Why did I say Downs?
Yeah, well,
you know what?
When they were going to make those substitutions, and I think that was the planned change, but just before Downs went down, if you pardon the pun, with a painful-looking knock, and I think they were giving it a minute or so just to see if he was capable of playing again, resuming play before making the change. And he came back on and had run it off. It was a painful one, but
okay.
So
right.
I probably said he was likely to come off because he didn't look great.
If you look at my notes, I've written DOW for Downs, and then BOW for Bowen, and I've gone back to it a moment later and read it as a DOW and put Downs instead of Bowen. So my fault anyway. But anyway, it's 2-0 West Ham, 3 subs. That's the most important thing.
Another corner for Larnaca, who should be cornering the market in corners.
They do love a corner.
Yeah, in swinger cleared out, and it's back towards the halfway line, and Larnaca look to build again. All the corners they've had, and we haven't had any. It doesn't seem fair.
No, it's outrageous. So we're kind of a little bit of a lull at the moment. Not much happening. West Ham making those changes. Of course, the home side made 3 changes themselves. Nikolic coming off for Casato, Farage for Mamas, and Altman for someone I didn't see who the third player to go was. But anyway, that's where we are.
Just a little bit here. It's Yakolis, the number 44, and I'm not sure the other player is. But Yakolis, the number 44, and another player, both taking wild hacks at Bowen, who was not overpleased and reactive. Free kick to West Ham, and I think the referee had a quiet word while they were showing the replay there. Bowen got sort of chopped in half by the first challenge, and then the second challenge, because he tried to stay on his feet, sort of made sure he didn't get past. So free kick comes to nothing, and it's deep in Larnaca territory, and they're clearing long now. The Zoltman sort of had a bit of space to run into for a second or so, and then Downs made sure he didn't go any further, just clattered into the back of him. Yeah, put his foot across him, and free kick and a yellow card. And I don't think there's no complaints over either of those decisions.
Going back to those Bowen challenges.
That yellow card, sorry, just to I'll come back to you on that, but that yellow card means that Downs misses the return leg, which if we've got the job here done, then it doesn't matter. So sorry, Graham.
No, I was just laughing at that double challenge on Jarrod Bowen a few moments ago. Um, they both took a real hack at him, didn't they, Rio?
Yeah.
They certainly didn't want him to carry on anyway, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Another call at Larnaca, by the way. I'm losing count now.
Is that 7? Is that 7 we're up to now?
Could well be, yeah. Again, in swinger, and again, I think that's not sure if that was headed up or O'Reilly got the punch on that, but well cleared anyway, although it's back on the halfway line. And again, well, I say back on the halfway line, it's actually back with the Larnaca keeper. As you were.
Confirmation that Flynn Downs booking there for that late challenge means he will miss the second leg. But I suppose if you're going to be forced to miss one, Rio, that's a second leg when you're 2-0 up from the first. It's probably as good as any.
Yeah, and if you're going to get suspended and miss out the rest of the competition, like you said, it's ideal, isn't it? We can it's hopefully we can bring in someone else and give them a bit of game time, even if it's one of the youngster players. I mean, the youth team have been doing wonders in the Youth Cup. Maybe if we can get another goal or two, we can give opportunity for them. Like we did with Skulls early in the tournament and Boomer. It'd be a great opportunity to lead some of these youngsters, give them a little bit of game time, give them a bit of experience. So now it's another reason why I want to get another goal or two under our belt. Now, this stage of the season, if you can rest your first team players a little bit, give others a chance, give the fringe players a go, it all bodes well. And obviously, the more games we play, now we saw last year how much the European run affects us. Although the squad's bigger this year, Moyes has been still utilising the same set of players far too much for me. So I'd like to see the youngsters given an opportunity. So another goal or two, put this one to bed. Let's spread the love a bit for the West Ham fringe players.
Couple of points to note there. Larnaca just had an effort on goal, but a fairly weak header. And then Zuma got the ball caught from trying to play it out of defence, got the ball caught underneath his feet. Thankfully, the nearest Cypriot lost his own feet, but that was a very dangerous. That was one of those ones where your centre half gets the ball nicked off him on the 6-yard box, and that if the lad hadn't fallen over, that would easily have been a goal. Now Fornell's overruns it, but does well to win it back, and we can sort of build again. But that was a silly little couple of minutes there for West Ham, which is stuff I don't want to see. And Lanzini tries to be a little bit tricky on the ball on the halfway line and loses it. Now they've got space down the left here, Larnaca. Another shot there, takes a deflection, goes out for yet another corner. It's careless, but
that Kurt Zuma moment you referred to there is just hilarious. By the way, didn't know where the ball was. Didn't know where it was. Any other game, you've got someone standing there just going to toe poke it in the net. But yeah, if you're going to do that sort of thing, I suppose it's best to do it in a game like today's rather than Sunday when you're playing Aston Villa. How's that corner going on, though?
Played deep to the back, and a shot came in, but it was just sort of basically blocked. It's just been played back, and the Larnaca goalkeeper's just playing it out now. And we're sitting back a little bit, and we are resting. I'd like to see us put, but maybe just put enough together, get one more. Nothing else apart from my bet. I guess it's warm out there, and you don't want to sort of bust the gut too much. But we've had our 5 minutes break. Let's go and play again now.
Rio, we've taken our foot off the gas a little bit here. It seems, as Noam was alluding to just there.
Yeah, we've gone from.
Go on, Rev. Sorry, mate.
So now we've gone from a degree of professionalism and been incredibly sensible into be a little bit reckless. I don't know if Larnaca could just up in their tempo a little bit, making life a bit more difficult. But and the last couple of minutes haven't been entirely comfortable. But we went for this spell in the first half as well, didn't we? Where Larnaca forced, four or five corners in pretty quick succession. We dealt with it comfortably enough. I'm still confident enough we're going to hit 1 or 2 on a break here and take it back to, but with at least a 3-goal advantage.
How do you think Larnaca will feel about their performance so far tonight? No, I mean, it's, Premier League team, it's a big draw. Only 2-0, not the end of the world for them, still in the tie.
Yeah, they've played all right, really. I mean, they just put a stat up there that it was 8 attempts each, but there are attempts and there are attempts, really. Obviously, that doesn't give you any indication of the quality, if you like. You said that they're on the attack again now, and it's another corner. Cross came in, but tried to get a slight flick on, but Zuma was there in attendance, and they're just replaying a shot that was blocked earlier on, and hands went up for a penalty, but it was more chest or belly sort of thing. So, but no, they could be quite pleased with how they've acquitted themselves. They haven't folded. Quite easy to do so when you go 2-0 down. Corner comes in near post, flicked on. A little bit of mild consternation, but the ball yet again, when the corner gets cleared, it always ends up back in the Larnaca half. But let's go out a bit. Let's get the ball back and actually start to play ourselves a bit. It's we've got our feet up at the moment, and another cross, and look at a dangerous cross, that one. But Cresswell was aware, heads it out for another corner.
Gents, I am trying to remember the last game West Ham played when we didn't have a single corner. I'm guessing it's not that rare, but can anyone recall the last time that happened? No. If anyone in the live chat can, let us know. Because that's how it sounds. I mean, West Ham, no corners so far. I think this is the 9th one. Noam's just about to take us through for the home side.
Well, they've gone for the sort of Hollywood one. It's played out to the edge of the box and first time volley into Rose Ed. We're making another change now, and I think Lanzini's coming off for Paqueta. Paqueta's coming off to replace Lanzini. We haven't actually had any sort of attacking intent for a good 10-15 minutes, and I think this may be a way of actually, if you like, sort of getting that going. Now, Larnaca making a substitution. Number 10, who's got the brilliant name of Trikovsky, is come on. Didn't see who was going off there, but Trikovsky. That sounds like a made up foreign name for your Roy of the Rovers comics, doesn't it?
Going back to the corners, I mean, I've been actively watching us for 40 years, and I think 36 of them at least, we had numerous short corners where it felt like we hadn't had a corner because they never amount to anything. So I think between 1983 and 1997 at least, it felt like we hadn't had a corner at all.
That's some good play from West Ham, and just the final ball at the edge of the box. But it was a good little move, good section of one touch interplay there. But the final ball was just a tad too short. It's got cleared long, and it's now back with Areola, who himself clears long out to the right hand side, and that's played out for a West Ham throw. Good little piece of interplay there. What I want to see more of in the last 13 minutes plus stoppage.
I can tell you that the player substituted by the marvellously named Tchaikovsky was Jackalis, who was involved, just a few minutes before. In terms of games elsewhere, it's still 1-1 between Anderlecht and Villarreal. Nice still leading 1-0 in Sheriff. Of course, the 3 games being played today, those two. And West Ham's here in Larnaca, where just come up to the last 12 minutes or so. Hammers leading by 2-0. Both goals coming from Michail Antonio in the first half.
Not quite sure what happened there. We looked in promising possession, and then I think BT are having problems with their satellite signal from Cyprus. And we looked in promising possession. Next thing you know, Cypriots are attacking. So I don't quite know what happened there, but and Bowen's was just trying to tidy up in the at the back there, do a bit of defensive stuff, and has been unceremoniously brought down. Just before that, there was a bit of a coming together between Kara and one of the Larnaca players, but case of did he run into Kara or did Kara come off? But in the end, the free kick's gone West Ham way for the foul on Bowen. As we have one of these slow motion montages that the Cypriot telly seems so proud of. Don't know what happened with the free kick because now they've gone back live. The ball's now back down in Larnaca territory, down in the corner. It's some interesting TV production going on here.
Yeah, I think we're all getting the same thing right now. So it's yeah. Like
camera works a little bit slow in one or two cases, and as I say, we've had this flickering screen sort of thing, but it seems to settle down for a moment now. Anyway, I mean, I'm watching it on telly, so it's it's not a computer thing. It's obviously problems that are being had by BT in general.
Arsenal have conceded a second goal against Sporting. It's now 2-2 in the Europa League.
Oh, no, actually, Arsenal equalised. They were 2-1 down, mate.
Sorry, Arsenal have equalised.
Yeah,
against Sporting.
That
they were
was a while
2-1
back.
down. It's now 2-2. There you go.
Yeah.
Still no other goals elsewhere in the Conference League. Apart from here, West Ham winning 2-0. Pass stats up on the screen. West Ham 381 passes to Larnaca's 282. A little bit better.
Great. West Ham sort of looking good there. Overhit pass, little less on it. We'd have had Souček clear through. And it looks like there's another change of foot. Sorry, I just glanced away from the screen and it looked like Moyes was about to tell somebody and I didn't see who it was. So bear with me. It looks like they're going to make another change though. All a bit scrappy, sort of neither team really holding on to the ball. And that should be a West Ham throw. Somehow awarded the other way. 9 minutes left anyway. Carers as bemused as anyone about it. Change not made yet. And Larnaca can try and bring it away now. Larnaca move, falls apart, and West Ham can now bring it away, though. To be fair to them, they are sort of working very hard to make it a little bit difficult. Scamacca nearly lays the ball off nicely, I think, for 4 hours, but wins it back, though.
That coming back now to that substitution, if I can quickly.
Yeah,
I think that's Maxwell Cornet.
It's Cornet, yeah, it is. Sorry, yeah.
His first game in about 4 months.
Yes, it's October, yeah. 5 nearly, isn't it? 'Cause it's October, wasn't it? Cornet replaces Fornals, and an ideal game to give him. Well, there's 8 minutes left plus stoppage, so get a few minutes in his legs, and the game's pretty much won, I'd have said. Now that's clearly a West Ham throw, and it's gone the other way beforehand, and so the Cypriots look surprised that they didn't get that throw. Well, it clearly was ours, but we got it anyway, and now we can start to build. Go on, West Ham, win me a few, Bob. Get me one more.
That's West Ham's 1, 2, 3, the 5th substitute for West Ham. Bowen, Scamacca, Souček, Lanzini, Paquetá, and Cornet coming off for Fornals, Lanzini, Rice, Antonio, and Benrahma. 5 changes, Rio, by David Moyes before the 82nd minute. What's going on?
Clearly, the little bit of warm sun air in Cyprus has got to him, hasn't it? You know, he's Scottish. He's not used to all that kind of stuff. So I'm blaming a little bit on sunstroke.
5 substitutions by David Moyes. Unbelievable. And we've still got 8 minutes to go. Hammer's in complete control here, 2-0 up. Larnaca, for all their puff and effort, just not quite on the same
Well-
wavelength as West Ham in terms of quality, even though they're giving it a good go. No,
Yeah, they've got another corner. A long free kick was played into the box. 11 corners to nil is the stat. Zuma nodded it clear. Clearly didn't get a shot because that would have run out harmlessly. But corners played in swinger, and again, Aged and Areola both go for it. There's a combination of them basically puts it over their own bar for the Cyprus 12th corner. And see what he does. He's got an interesting load of hand signals, this guy. Another in swinger, and again, Souček and Areola kind of getting each other's way. Good work from Cornet, but it's Scamacca doesn't bring it out, gets halted on his way out, and Larnaca can build again. Cresswell holds up the attack down on their right hand side. Doesn't prevent the cross, and Souček heads out of the near post for another corner. What, we 13 now? The last 3 or 4 have all gone straight in towards Areola and Aged, and I think they were looking at Aged's own goal the other day.
Yeah.
It's in there again, and it's Scamacca heads clear this time. And
well, I suppose one thing they can say, we've had plenty of practice defending corners today, haven't we? That's for sure.
Yeah.
With 13 or 14 in the bag now.
Promising break with Scamacca bursting forward there, but the ball was a bit woeful, and basically it's cleared. Now there's a Larnaca player hobbling around as if he's been fouled there. There's certainly a ripped hole in the back of his socks, but then the players do that themselves these days. So I don't know if that's a result of a foul or just home kit alterations, you know.
Of course, Julian Dix was very famous for doing that to his shirts back in the day.
Yeah,
wasn't
he ripped the collars off, didn't he?
Yeah. Can't blame him though. That was a necessary back in the pony days.
That was the
pony shirt, wasn't
centenary
it?
kit, wasn't it?
Tear off the centenary kit, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, with a big flappy collars.
I'll have to wear it next time. Now, West Ham building on the edge of the box. Nice ball in from Paqueta, but a little bit overhit, and that'll go through. The Larnaca keeper will gather that up. Souček was the target for that, but didn't really have hope of getting it. So, can't West Ham, one more goal.
How much have you got on this 3-0, no?
I think it's 3-0. I stand to win a ton. I think. But cash out, I win 75p effectively.
Oh well, better than nothing, I suppose.
The cash out is going down as I speak, so I'm not going to bother cashing out.
Well, we're into the final couple of minutes anyway of normal time. West Ham still 2-0 up. It's been a walk in the park, quite frankly, for the Hammers, although the home side have huffed and puffed and given it their all. The gap in quality is vast, and it's really shown in the final thirds of the pitch where West Ham have taken 2 of the few chances they've created, and Larnaca for all of their efforts on goal and 475 corners that they've had today. Just haven't really got close.
Now
476.
They'll just clear the ball out. And so unusually, it's 14 corners to nil. We want the exact stat. It's actually it's coming from the Larnaca left this time.
Wow.
Outswinger. Larnaca player actually wins this one, but it's bouncing around the edge of the box. They're trying to. Well, number 11's got a shot in, and it's always blocked again. And bit again consternation there, but brilliant work from Cornet, and plays through now. The guitar. He's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper hits it straight at the keeper. That should have been 3. That should have been my ton.
Oh, you Antonio in disguise.
Yeah, very much Antonio. It was some great work from Cornet. Ball played to him with a Larnaca player in close attention, and he did a lovely little flick to lose him, and then laid the ball through ball Paquetá really should have done better there. Especially it's my money involved.
100 quid down the pan. While we were just waiting for that shot to come in, there was a couple of other mini incidents. There was another substitution for Larnaca. I can't tell you who it was. And just before that, Tilo Kehrer received a yellow card for putting his hand in the face of an opponent. No.
Yeah, ball bobbling around the West Ham box, shot blocked, rebound to, I think it was Trikowski. I think our mate Trikowski, who pretty clear on the edge of the box, gets the shot in, and good left foot shot. Yeah, Trikowski, excellent shot, left foot first time, but straight into Areola. Good save from Areola, but one you'd expect it to make, but it was a good effort. So it's been a little bit disappointing the second half because the game is clearly sort of won, and Cornet's putting himself around now. Lunging, challenging, and again the Cypriots, dangerous looking move, but again final touch in the box lets them down. And Areola picks up. Yeah, fair play to them. They've given it a go, and it has a nice little move. But yeah, just watching now, Cornet's through ball. It was beautiful. I mean, Paquetá, probably it's a good save, but he really should have done better. Goalkeeper backpedaling as well might have been worth a shot from distance. We've got 6 minutes of stoppage to play.
Really?
Yeah.
Could fit another 33 corners in then.
Yeah. 6 minutes.
That Paquetá chance, if that was Antonio, all joking aside, we would have been cursing, wouldn't he, if he'd have missed that? But
I think Antonio would have collapsed about 25 yards out from goal, to be honest. Of all the players left on the pitch, Paquetá would be the one I fancied most of all to bury that one. So,
yeah.
But what a great work by Maxwell Cornet. He's been out the side for, 5 months now. But the little shimmy, the turn, and the brilliant through ball, the build-up play deserved a goal. It's just it's poor finishing, poor one-on-one.
Exciting though, that isn't it? It's good for West Ham. We've not, as you guys have been saying, we've not seen Cornet for so long. That's the sort of pass to unlock a defence we've been missing, isn't it, in recent weeks and months? Yeah.
Normally, the one person who could supply that would be Fornells or Paquetá himself. You want the kind of roles reversed and possibly Cornet getting on the end of it. But it was a great pass, great bit of work.
We're now into the first of those 6 added-on minutes at the end of this game that Noam told us about a few moments ago. Still 2-0 West Ham. Can we get that extra goal? Come on, West Ham. Look at Noam. He's destitute over there. He can't afford to put his fire on and his 2-bar fire and warm up the flat. We need some money. We need a goal. Come on, West Ham.
I've just had a few days in Ireland, which have been very expensive for various different reasons. So, not 100 makes an awful lot of difference in the grand scheme of things, but it'd be nice.
And it all helps. It all helps.
Yeah, it'll pay the drinks part of the mini little reception we had for me dad. So, but not the food.
Gianluca Scamacca. G, you haven't seen a lot of him since we come on, have we?
No, he just keeps committing a couple of sort of fouls. Now, I think he's going to be offside here. He's ball bobbling around the edge of the box, but he was offside. So Bowen was an intelligent ball from Bowen because he was clearly offside, and he was always. Sorry, it was to Bowen. Sorry. Just the Larnaca again have a shot, but again that might they were looking for offside there, West Ham. In fact, the linesman raised his flag belatedly. 3 minutes have gone. Yeah, he's offside there. Clearly so, but it's unusual to see the ball go over the goal line at the West Ham end and it not be a corner. That's all.
What are we up to? Is it 14 at the moment? Is it still 14?
Still 14, yeah, because that's obviously a goal kick. So, yeah. 3.5 minutes exactly played of the 6, so 2.5 left. Larnaca sort of, again, sort of hopefully desperately looking for a goal out of this, just to make things a little bit more interesting back at the Olympic, but wayward finishing. Again, that's Trikovsky or whatever his name was. Gets in good position, but just again, way over and way wide.
Final 3 minutes. Time to get those man of the match nominations in, folks. If you're watching on the live stream, let us know who your pick for West Ham United was tonight. Of course, you can pick someone from Larnaca if you like, I guess. Doesn't really matter a great deal. But yeah, man of the match awards, get them in, please.
Possible attack there. Paqueta's touch, usually so good. Just let the ball run under his feet, and Larnaca can bring it away now. Ball played across the box. Again, it's got down to the byline. Again, the bit of a sort of bobbled shot into the ground, but nobody reacted to it, and except for Areola, who just pounced on it. But that's a good chance, really, if they're looking for it. It's a good little dink ball in there. Again, clears the edge of the box. First time effort, but everybody stood there watching it bounce through, and Areola was quite grateful it came through to him. Again, if anything had come of that, I think there might have been a couple of players in front of Areola that might have been offside, but just play on. I mean, they're giving it a go the last couple of minutes. We're in the last minute now.
It's kind of one of those games. I mean, Rio, if they were to score Larnaca, does it make it a bit nervous going for the second leg if it's only a 2-1 advantage?
Yeah, most definitely. Although they've lacked quality in the box itself, just look at the stats. I know stats don't always tell the picture, but was it 14 corners? So they've obviously threatened our goal on numerous occasions. And it only takes one cock up from a corner. Hello, Mr. Johnson. And
that's full time, by the way, guys.
It can turn the tie on its head. So, complacency shouldn't come into the equation here.
Well, there you go. Fortunately, it hasn't come into the equation tonight, as Noam has just signalled. That is the final whistle. 6 added minutes played at the end of this game. West Ham winning by 2-0. Those goals coming in the first half. Mickey Antonio opening the scoring with a header from Said Ben Rama-Cross on 36 minutes. And then 11 minutes later, in the second added on minute at the end of the first half, Antonio scoring an absolute scorcher. Roberto Carlos-esque, I think Rio said, into the top right-hand corner, curling it round the defender from a very, almost looked like an impossible angle. A bit like the other day, didn't celebrate, not quite sure why. I would have been running around the entirety of Cyprus, I think, if I'd have put one in like that. But anyway, Mickey Antonio didn't feel it was worth celebrating that much. And that was the last of the goal action, really. Stats-wise, quite even. In terms of possession, Larnaca's 47% possession, West Ham 53%. Although the Hammers outshot by the Cypriots tonight. 14 shots for Larnaca, only 3 of those on target. West Ham, only 9 shots in the entire game, 4 of which were on target. Of course, they scored 2 goals. Corners, there it is, West Ham, not a single corner in the whole game. Larnaca finishing with 14. West Ham committing just as many fouls, while Larnaca committed just 6 throughout the entire game. Man of the Match awards. G, I'll come to you first. Who stood out for you amongst the Hammers tonight?
I'll give it to and sorry, I keep disappearing every time I move. There we go. I'll give it to Antonio purely because I don't think anybody's ever gobsmacked me that much by scoring a goal. And, just as they're showing pictures of the Cypriot team sort of applauding their supporters, etc. And but there was an interesting after the game, and Areola and Gerd were clearly discussing defensive matters there. It was interesting. wondering possibly those corners that they were both going to, those deep in swingers. And I don't know if anybody's been looking at Villa, from Villa this evening, but if I were that might be a tactic they might want to think about. But yeah, Antonio man the match, I'll give it to him.
Good stuff. Interesting. Just talking there about the post-match scenes there. Just saw David Moyes. I think he's walked straight off the pitch. Didn't look that happy. He normally goes and applauds the away fans. So, Rio, I don't know if he's got a cob on about what happened at Brighton on Sunday, but I mean, he may be going over to salute them now, maybe jumping the gun, but signs that all perhaps isn't quite well there with the boss.
Yeah. To be honest, the stick he received on Saturday, I thought was actually well deserved. And I hate anyone getting kind of unnecessary grief. But the way that his side performed on Saturday was nothing short of a disgrace. And for the away support to react the way they did, he's clearly lost the bulk of that support. And his comments in the post-match presser haven't really done him many favours either.
Yeah. So
he's obviously, there's a lot of anger flying about the club at the moment. And it's obviously filtered through to the manager. I'm not surprised he hasn't gone up, because after the way he was received Saturday, would you want to acknowledge that? I know it's the professional kind of thing nowadays where you have to almost be seen to applaud your travelling to fans, where even if they've gone round the corner to Tottenham or whatever. But there's clearly friction there. David Moyes clearly is unhappy. The support's unhappy. And, both parties have a right to be upset. So it's not a major shock to me that he hasn't done it, because after the abuse he received, he's clearly angry.
Okay, good stuff. Before we move on, Rio, your man of the match nomination for tonight, please.
I have to go with Neumann. It was a game devoid of a lot of real quality. But the two finishes by Mikel Antonio were the highlights. It's a deft little header, a really good strike from outside the box, and it was the turning point of the match. Now, Mikel has been he's not the only West Ham player, but he's been in absolute woeful form for the last few weeks, and we've seen those two costly misses last week. But he's come up trumps tonight, and in a game devoid of real quality, he was a shining light.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that. I think I'm going to give mine to the goalkeeper tonight. I'm going to give it to Areola. Clean sheet, didn't really look under great danger, managed to deal with everything that was thrown at him quite competently. So yeah, my shout's going to be Areola for that. But let's have your nominations, you guys watching on the live chat, and we'll run through those in just a minute. No, in terms of David Moyes and West Ham, what have we learned, if anything, from tonight's match?
We probably haven't learned anything. We've learned that if you give Antonio the whole pitch, then he'll probably score. We've learned that Paquetá owes me £100, and not that I'm bitter, but no, I don't think we've really learnt an awful lot. It was one of those cut potential banana skins that we were professional enough to negotiate. I'd have liked to have seen a bit more attacking intent from us in the second half. After the first 20 minutes of the second half, we basically put our feet up. Larnaca, fair play to them. They gave it a go. They weren't 2-0 down. They could have been overawed, perhaps, but they stuck at it. We always say that if you sort of take your foot off the pedal and then give away a goal, it's very, very difficult to get your momentum back. So the clean sheet was very welcome. Although, for all the corners and everything, I wasn't really sitting there at any time with my heart in my mouth, if I'm really honest. There are a couple of sort of balls bobbing around, sort of thing that nothing really sort of to cause me blood pressure or any further problems that they've got already. So I think an early goal next week, and that's job done.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, gentlemen. Elaine Nelson also fancies Alphonse Areola for man of the match. And Rob Young going with Mickey Antonio. So continuing the theme from here in the studio, or our various different studios, even though it looks like we're all in the same place. If anyone else has got any, let us know. You have to be quick though, because we're going to wrap up very, very soon. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one who wants to pop off and have a bite to eat. Given this tea time fixture, and plenty of content to come on KUMB, of course, later on this evening. Match reports, some roundups, and of course, as always, plenty of chat on the KUMB.com general discussion forum, especially in the match thread, where debate is raging right now. I can tell you, in the wake of that win for West Ham. Aston Villa, we touched on it a little bit earlier. Let's close tonight's show with a very brief look ahead to Sunday's game versus a much improved Aston Villa side, but also Rio, one that got knocked out the cup by a 4th division team and shipped 4 goals at home. I think it was to Man City the week before last. So they are beatable, much better under the new manager. How do you see that one going? Do you think this is a game we can kind of ease our relegation woes with, or do you see Villa just adding to those?
I've seen nothing tonight that's really kind of boosted my confidence a great deal in terms of facing Premier League opposition. And as you say, under Unai Emery, they're a lot more organised, they're a lot more efficient. Of course, they're susceptible to a shock defeat. Of course, they're susceptible to being beaten by a team like City. It just depends what West Ham turns up. If we get the West Ham who played so well for that first half against Manchester United, if we get that West Ham who played so well for the second half against Nottingham Forest, I've got no fears. My big worry is that far too often this season, we've seen the West Ham to the most extreme deal. We get the West Ham turn up at Brighton. But we've seen the stodgy performances against Tottenham, Arsenal. Virtually every team we've played this season, we've put in a bit of a turgid performance. And it's just hard to see how we're going to break that pattern. I hate to be negative because on Saturday, I think I went through so much negativity, it lasted me 2 or 3 lifetimes. So I'm going to take the positives out tonight. It was great to see us reacquaint ourselves with football because we haven't seen one of them for 2 weeks. It's great to see Maxwell Cornet get some minutes under his belt. And when he did come on, he looked quite lively.
Yep.
It was good to see the players who've been on the fringes a little bit get some time as well. Manuel Lanzini, I thought, wasn't outstanding tonight, but used the ball well. And it was noticeable that when he went off, our performance took a nosedive. Mm-hmm. We went from being kind of reasonably in control and comfortable into, we're under the cosh a little bit here. There was no one who getting on the foot and the ball and keeping hold of it in midfield.
Yeah. So
it was good to see him and Fornells get some minutes under the belt. But yeah, looking to Sunday, I can't say I'm full of optimism. Nervous hope, I think, is about the best you're going to get out of me tonight.
Okay, good stuff. Before I go to Noam for his view, don't forget, if you've enjoyed what you've seen on the stream tonight, just underneath us here, there's a little thumbs up button. Deal normally does this, but he's not here at the moment. So if you have enjoyed the stream, give us a thumbs up, helps the channel, so I'm told. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the bell to be notified of whenever a new piece of content goes live, like Percy's match previews or one of these streams, for example, or any one of a number of other things that we're going to be doing in the coming months. Make sure you're subscribed anyway to be notified of those. Cornet back tonight, Noam. Kurt Zuma first start for a while. Tilo Kehrer back in the team. Looking pretty good injury-wise now. No complaints really for David Moyes going into that game on Sunday. How do you see this one going?
I think the good thing about this game is that we came through without any major injuries, and we got a 2-0 win without really putting our foot down at all. And Sunday, I was nearly going to say Saturday, we see we've got into a confidence thing, given the opposition. where I think we will do what we do well, and we'll beat opposition that we think we ought to be beating. And then when we get either teams that are sort of a lot higher up the league than us, or in the case of Brighton and a bogey team, that the confidence goes. I think Villa are one of those teams that the players will be thinking they ought to be beating, and and I think because of that we will. I think we'll have a lot more about us than we did against Brighton. I think we were defeated against Brighton before we came out of the changing room. I think we'll beat Villa. It'll be a tight one, but I think I'm going for 2-1 to us on that one. I think we'll do it. It may not, maybe a nervy one, but we got Maltese Hammer coming over on Sunday specifically for this one. So we went through a long spell where every time he came over it was 0-0, but we've got that out of the way. So yeah, I think we're going to win.
Okay, good stuff.
More optimistic.
Good. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. It's good stuff. We did have a spell, didn't we, playing Villa, where nearly every game seemed to end up 1-1 or 0-0 in the early part of this century. But we seem to have had the hex over them a bit more in recent seasons. So let's hope that continues at least for this weekend. Anyway, Rio, you want to give us a little score prediction? Noam's gone for 2-1 West Ham Sunday.
Now I know that Ian's coming over. I'm going to go 0-0.
Come on, Ian, bring us some good luck.
I'll tell him that. He's probably not watching it. But I swapped a few messages with him today, and I'll tell him that. So,
all right. And if he can bring some of that sunshine stuff that we used to get, that would be appreciated as well. It's horrible out here, snowing all day. It's been awful.
Just put a few degrees Celsius in your bag, mate. I don't care about the sun in March. Yeah.
No, that's true. That'll do. Anyway, we're going to wrap up there. Thank you to everyone for joining myself, Noam, and Rio on tonight's stream. It has finished AEK Larnaca 0, West Ham United 2. Mickey Antonio with a brace, a first half brace, to put West Ham in a very, very commanding position ahead of next week's second leg at the London Olympic Stadium. It is, of course, before then, a little test against Aston Villa. Massive, massive, massive game. Another one. I fear we're going to have 15 or 16 of those between now and the end of May. But it's Villa this weekend. Join me. I'm sure these two guys won't be around because they'll probably be down at the game in Stratford. So join me, and maybe DL will be back this weekend. We don't know. But we will be. There will be a stream. I can tell you that there will be a stream on Sunday. Someone will be bringing it to you. If you've got more West Ham time, bit of spare time this evening, get yourself on over to the KUM.com general discussion forum. Jump into the match thread. Have your say on what you've seen tonight. Apart from that, my friends, take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves. Have a good rest of the week. And we shall see you on Sunday for that one. West Ham United versus Aston Villa. Big, big game for the Hammers. Haven't really learned a lot from tonight, but at least we've learnt we can keep a clean sheet and score a couple of goals for a change. It'd be nice if we could do that again on Sunday, wouldn't it? Until then, my friends, take care. And come on, you Irons.
Night all.